everybody.
Change of scenery again. We kind of flip-flop back and forth between the...
Weren't we down here last time?
No, we were upstairs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kids are here tonight, so of course we're hiding out down in the craft room.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Oh.
Nothing wrong. You muted?
Just make sure. Yep, I am.
Excellent. So, not sure if everybody has same problems as we do here, but the garden has gone...
I'm not sure that's a problem.
No, okay, it's not a problem. It feels like a problem when you got to make it into everything, and then it's like, oh no, I've got so much stuff. What am I gonna do?
That being said, it's more staged this year than it has been because the tomatoes are starting, but they're not all going at the same time.
That's true. That's true.
They're a bit more
spread out. Yeah, yeah. We're not getting hit with
yet.
Saying that though, the pineapple one started to ripen today. Hey, honey badgers, how are you doing tonight? Whoa. Hopefully well.
I should go up and get our first pineapple tomato. I think it looks impressive.
Well, you can get it for show and tell later.
True. I could do that.
Well, or you can go get it now, I suppose, if you really want to, but...
I'll go get it now, because I think it's cool.
Okay, well, get it now and do show and tell later, yeah. Chris is going to get our awesome tomato we just picked today out of the garden for show and tell later. So, pretty proud of it. But yes, the tomatoes are nicely staggered, actually. Chris is right on that we've managed to have one batch of, I want to say there's 25 or so tomato plants, and they're all really, really, really ripening right now. And then we've got a few other smaller bunches that are ripening slower. Then my big San Marzanos I've got 34 of them. And they're just nicely behind. They're only just starting to turn a little bit red. So I'll be able to get stuff made with the one before the other one starts. And then we've got a batch of late ones that are coming after that. So exactly. So much to make tomatoes with. We are making some soup, and I do want to do some ketchup, some barbecue sauces, all that sort of stuff. So that's good. And yeah, if worst case scenario, the chickens will eat them. That's our theory. So far, the chickens that are in the garden have only destroyed 2 tomatoes, which I was actually quite surprised with, because usually they're right in there as soon as they start ripening. But so far, they're not causing too much trouble. But that's good. They're just the little chicks. Like we've got, I'm trying to think of how old they are. I don't know. They're about yay big. So they're not too big. And so therefore they can't reach really. And I've pruned up most of the stuff on the bottom, so they can't really get, into too much trouble out there, which is really good. But how are things out there? We're making relish and pickles. I wish I was able to do that. Our cucumbers did terrible. Terrible. I mean, I think I've got 2 plants that are just kind of trying to struggle up the trellis. Whoa, you're shaking the whole thing as you walk.
I'm back.
But yeah, we've got two cucumber plants that have kind of crept up the trellis a little bit, but they've got nothing. They've got a few blossoms, I think.
You might get a few.
But anyways, nothing to write home about, that's for sure. I'm glad that I had a lot of pickles from last year. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really need any this year anyways, but we've had a few from friends and that we've used for,
You've made some pickles, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the nice part about pickles and cucumbers. They do keep, well, cucumbers don't keep, pickles keep. So if you get a good year, you can kind of make use of it to some degree.
Yes. Oh, and we forgot to mention last live, honey badgers, that our elephant garlic did come up.
Yes, it did actually. It was a bit slow, but it did sprout. I haven't actually looked at it this week.
It's got a couple. It's spindly. I don't know. Maybe we kind of. I'm not sure if it wasn't hot enough, wasn't wet, or was maybe too wet. But it is up. We haven't disturbed it in the soil to see what it's doing. We're just going to leave it alone, I think, is the plan, right?
I probably won't even replant it. I'll just leave it completely, because I know it won't grow anything more than the one clove will get bigger.
We'll have to do a video update on it. But what we had done is we had planted the turnips around it and left it all in the center of the bed. And I think what happened was the turnips just swamped it out because they were so.
Well, the turnips were slow, and then all of a sudden they just
went like to monsters.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, which I guess is also good.
Yeah, exactly. But
needless to say, it's got lots of space now, and it looked a lot better.
Freezer cucumber salad.
Ooh, that
You're going to have to share that one. That is interesting. I've not ever heard of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We still need to send you something.
Yeah, what have we got that you'd like?
That you'd be interested in trying or growing.
We're excited for the elephant garlic. We're going to see what it does.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I'm really excited for it.
Undisturbing it really is the plan. I'm just going to kind of mulch it down and then see what happens for next year.
I think it'll do well.
Yeah, but we were pleased anyways because we thought it hadn't come up and we were kind of like, oh, that sucks, that's too bad. And then once we pulled the turnips, we saw all these little spindly garlic greens trying to grow amongst the turnips. So I think we ended up we crowded it.
We didn't crowd the garlic. We crowded other stuff. We have a tendency to do that. I don't know. It works well for some things and not so well for other things. Yeah. I was thinking about that tonight when I was putting the chickens away that are in the garden or by the garden, and some things are doing great because, like we said it last time, there's just so much greenery
growing. Hey, Thorhaven, how you doing tonight?
That it's like shaded out all the competition. They're just competing with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we are doing relatively amazing tonight. As amazing as, I guess, other nights.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yes, I like this shirt. I found this one in a thrift store the other day, and I'm like, I need to add that to my shirt collection.
Yes. That's too much bacon.
Simple, but...
to the point, hey? This is why pigs must stay bacon.
True.
Yeah. So, sorry, she said about what it was. It's made with vinegar, sugar, but tastes just like with cream. Wow.
Definitely sounds interesting to try.
Yeah. And just in the freezer, I think that's fantastic.
I am a big fan of freezers. That being said, I don't like preserving everything in the freezer, but
it's a
lot of things. We just preserved, how many pounds was it? It was like a couple thousand grams.
What are we talking about?
The yellow cricket squash.
Oh, the yellow cricket.
Quite a bit. Anyways, we did quite a bit.
It was close to, I think it was close to 14 pounds.
Is that much? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Oh, we'll have to go back and look at the numbers.
I'm counting what's still on that you didn't chop up.
Oh, okay. So it might have been 10 pounds then.
10 pounds probably went in the freezer, but we did our little textbook, cut it up and lay it on the cookie sheet, and then just throw it in bags as it freezes so that you can just grab what you need when you're making a recipe. I hate blanching stuff. I do not blanch stuff. So
that's one thing that's nice about the yellow crooked neck. It
freezes well.
Freezes very well.
Yeah.
As opposed to zucchini freezes well too, but not the same as this stuff.
Oh, you started pressure canning. So
nice.
what was your first thing that you pressure canned, or are you just pressure canning the meat so that you don't have to put it in the freezer? That's something I've not really done, is pressure canning just meat in a jar. I always do a full meal in a jar. But
doing it as a meal and doing it that way. More just because it's easier on the end.
Yeah.
When you actually go
have to free up space for the rabbits and the pigs. Yeah. Well, and it's nice, like we do complete stews and things like that to make for it in the pressure canner, and it's really good.
I'm move this over a tiny bit because
tomorrow
the computer screen's behind, so I can't see.
Oh, okay. Whoops. Oh, that's too bad. You can't see all the chit chat.
Oh, what did I do?
Oh, now you've made us black. Oh, now we look like we're in an old western. I don't know what you did. Oh, we might be black and white for the night. What did you do?
I don't know what I did.
Oh, he's making us all dramatic. Look, and we've even got like this really cool, what is that called around you?
Faded area.
Yeah, vignette or whatever.
Oh, now I don't know what I've done.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this will do it.
What did you
No.
do? Oh, it must have been this. Now we have to reconnect.
No, it's still there.
No, we've lost them.
No,
Just leave it as it is. We're just gonna leave it.
We're stuck in old-timey black and white tonight.
Chris,
No clue how we did this.
there was no we involved
Just my
at
big
all.
finger.
Chris touched something.
That's
So
quite funny.
we're staying in the old Western. I know
you
you're.
can see the majesty of our tomato just doesn't have the same look to it anymore.
No, it doesn't look the same. That's all right.
Our first pineapple tomato.
But yeah, Thorhaven says there he stopped blanching everything as well, which I mean, yeah, I can't stand having to blanch stuff.
Well, we've been finding a lot of stuff doesn't really need it.
No, everything that we've always been told they have to blanch it. We just put it in the freezer, the same method, lay it on a cookie sheet, get it, flash freeze it to throw it in a bag, and it's worked fantastic so far.
It's working great with raspberries, blackberries, the summer squash. What else? The beans.
The beans I
you
do
can
that
do it
way.
with peas too. And
Peas, yeah.
Like it works with everything.
Oh yeah, it works good. We did the spinach, not the spinach. Sorry, the kale.
Yeah, the kale worked really well that way actually.
Yeah. So
And we've tried blanching kale in the past to preserve it, and it just kind of goes to mush.
Yeah. So I'm distracted by the fact that we're in black and white. It looks so weird, but I don't know. I'm not sure what Chris did, so I'm gonna have to readjust that on my phone.
There isn't even a button. It just.
You did something.
I did something.
Yeah. So you did green beans. That's what you pressure canned. Awesome.
Yeah, vacuum sealing. We like it too. We do. It kind of depends. We do meat that we think we're going to keep for a while.
Oh yeah, and then if I'm doing like a longer term veggie storage or things like that.
Yeah, things that we kind of know we're going to try to keep for a while.
Basically, anything I know we're going to eat within a month or two, I don't vacuum seal because the cost of vacuum seal bags is just crazy.
Well, and we do, pending on what's in it, we do reuse.
Yeah, we reuse the veggie ones and stuff like that as long as they don't have holes in them.
And some of the freezer bags too, right?
Yeah.
If they're vegetables, we usually reuse them.
Yeah, exactly. But the meat stuff, if we're storing it for any length of period of time, we usually and we vacuum seal them. So, but I would like to give a try for some of the, like you say, the rabbit. A lot of people pressure can the rabbit or the chicken, like just in. I'm guessing it's just in a water, like that makes a broth or something.
I think so. Well, it's like pressure canning. Oh, excuse me. Oh. It's like pressure canning beef or venison, which I always
it's supposed to make it really tender.
It does. Pressure canned venison looks horrible, like you would never want to eat it, but it tastes amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to can rabbit soup.
That's what you're actually working on.
Yes, I've got. I started. I did tomatoes fresh from the garden there today, so I'm doing a video for rabbit soup tomorrow. It's a rabbit vegetable soup that you could add rice or noodles to at the time of cooking, but it's really nice and it's a pressure can one, so it's a full meal. You just pull it out, add some rice or noodles, or you can just eat it as it is. We do that sometimes with biscuits. It's nice that way too. But it's one of the kids. Well, it's actually one of my favorite ways to eat the rabbit too.
Yeah,
is in the soup. So yeah. But yeah, so I'll be sharing that.
Well, actually, we're going to do the video will be on Thursday.
Thursday.
Because you still have to make it. The soup.
Yeah. No, you're doing the geese, I thought Thursday.
It'll be this week.
Yeah. Anyways, we have a couple videos that we're working on for Thursday, Friday.
For the week.
And Saturday. So we got a few things in the works, but anyways, it's coming. What's the other one that I wanted to do too?
We had a couple of recipes.
Well, yeah, and somebody wanted ketchup. That was another one that somebody had asked for. So we're gonna do a ketchup video.
Can make yellow ketchup out of yellow tomatoes.
You can't tell that it's a yellow thing.
Is it yellow? Is it red?
It's black and white. I wish you hadn't done that. I don't know what you did. Oh well.
Oh well, that's funny.
Yeah, but
entire live done in black and white.
Well, you broke the camera, so I'm not sure how to change it. But hopefully next time when we log in, this will be like our speakers on our thingy where you can't can't use the speakers on the thing, and
I don't know what's up with that.
yeah,
but...
we're not tech savvy. Hey, Aldan. So
tomorrow's there. Oh, making mead video. That's cool.
I like the sound of that
That's
one.
That's something we've never tried. Like,
No,
we don't really have.
We don't have
all
honey.
the ingredients for it.
Yeah.
With the berries. Because can't you make some meads with berries, too? Like, isn't there like maybe I'm wrong on that?
Maybe you just are gonna have to tune into his video and ask a question in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
See how it's done.
Yeah, get the update. Yeah. Tomato is actually kind of great. Yeah,
Yep.
We're gonna have to show and tell next time when you guys actually have, when we have color, because yeah, Eldan, Chris did something to my phone, and we're in black and white like an old Wild West show.
Yep.
So
and
we can't figure out how to get it
make
back.
It go back.
Yeah.
So it's black and white.
We've been
for the rest of
canning
the
like
night.
crazy. That's same here. We have been canning. We've been doing applesauce, tons and tons of applesauce. We did apple berry sauce because I picked a bunch of blackberries, so we mixed that.
That was really good, actually. The blackberry applesauce.
Oh, the blackberry applesauce.
The raspberry
was just,
one was good, but I think the blackberry one actually was better.
it was more flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I went heavier on the berries. It's possible. And then, just started my rabbit soup. Got my tomatoes going because we picked, I think it was about 30 pounds of tomatoes because my rabbit soup requires 12 pounds of tomatoes. And I didn't even use half of what we picked. So I'm pretty sure. And there's that again out there to be thingy.
Oh, thank you
Thanks
very
for
much
coming in, though. Definitely. And we'll
have
look.
to, check out that video.
Yeah.
When you post it. Because I'm curious. Be kind of, I don't know, stuff like that's kind of fun to make.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Trying
the
different
crab
things.
apple liqueur stuff, which is...
Yeah. Oh, the crab apple liqueur, we definitely, we've already made a few jars of that this year. Gonna make some more, but it doesn't have to be crab apples. It could be just any apples, but...
It's good with any apples.
Yeah, but the crab apples is quite nice.
You get the color out of them.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Color.
But zucchini relish is also a good one. I still have quite a bit of it from the other year. And we've been lucky because we made the decision a couple of years ago not to grow zucchinis, but we always seem to have people that give us zucchinis. So
That's one nice thing.
the one thing that I made, if you still have quite a bit of zucchini left, I made it's an Italian zucchini stew.
That's a good one.
It's really, really, really good. You have to pressure can it. So I don't know if you have a pressure canner. I thought you said you did, but it is one that needs to be pressure canned. But it is really, really tasty. And nice for mixing into all sorts of things over the winter time. And a great way to use zucchini because I think it's, I made a double batch and I think it was like 9 or 10 pounds of zucchini that you needed.
Which is a
so
fair bit.
It used quite a bit when you got them coming out the
But I
zoo.
always say the same thing, and I think I will say it over and over and over and over again. Vegetables, anything you grow, actually, even animals, vegetables in particular that grow like weeds and want to grow like crazy are the best kind.
The best kind to have, exactly.
Yeah.
They're the ones that you can't kill.
Can't kill, they just keep producing.
Yeah, keep producing, which is great. I've got beans, too. The beans trellis is just...
Oh, they've gone mad lately.
I would say it's in the last, 5 days.
Yeah, because we checked
absolutely
last week. Not
just
this weekend, but the weekend before we checked.
Growing like mad. I don't believe that it's recommended to use an Instapot for canning.
It might work.
I don't know if it would work or not. I've not actually ever tried. I don't have an Instapot. I hear raving wonderful things about it, so I often say it would be good to get one because I'm one of those people that I plan my meal very late rather than actually doing it the night before, and slow cooker definitely doesn't work for me. But it would be nice.
Not 100% true.
Well, okay, unless I'm doing goat meat.
Well, something you can.
Or something that
We've
I
done
actually
chickens
have.
and stuff too, though. They're not bad that way.
I don't think I've ever slow cooked a chicken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have.
No,
Sure we have.
I don't
Not
think
regularly,
so. Because
but
I don't like my
usually.
skin on a chicken to not be crispy.
True.
So I don't think so. I did slow cook a rabbit though once.
Yeah, that was good. I mean,
Yeah.
may have done that more than once.
Yeah, it was kind of like a pulled
rabbit.
pulled pork rabbit type thing.
Works really good for
Hey,
the,
Chrissy, how you doing? Yeah, I blame Chris
I
for
don't
whatever
know what
has
happened.
happened. Chris touched my phone
And it did this.
and it went black and white, and we now cannot figure out how to get it back. And when we tried to get it back, we went to buffering. So we just said, we're going to just stay how we are. So enjoy the Wild West show. We should go get cowboy hats or something. Like, we should be in the Wild West. It feels like we're in the Wild West anyways. And we've got that like vignette thing. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, I think
all
so.
around the outside. It's kind of funny. Anyways.
Don't know how we did it.
Hey, Blands and Red in the Valley. Good to see you guys. It's like watching an old picture. Exactly. I don't know. I think we kind of look nice in black and white, though. Although,
it's very clear.
Yeah, Chris wanted to show and tell his new tomato, and it basically just shows as a gray blob. So.
Tomato. It's like an old horror film. Tomato that took over the earth.
Well, you're not even on the... Oh. Nobody knows what you're doing. Oh my goodness.
Just being ridiculous, but that's all right.
Yeah. See, Red in the Valley agrees with me. Chicken definitely has to be crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. What else we got here? Chris is at the fermented apples today. Maybe that's what it was. You were.
I've got the magic finger. I can turn it back in time.
It's not magic, because if it was magic, he'd figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, my time traveling only goes one way. Time traveling through technology only goes one way.
Blands even says it's a gross tomato.
But it will taste amazing.
It is actually. It's actually a pineapple one.
Yeah,
but
it's a pineapple tomato, so it's actually a really bright yellow and kind of pinky color.
Striped.
Pinky striped, which of course nobody can see any of that. But yeah, it's funny, right? Because when you look at it, it looks amazing. Me sitting here, but to everybody else, it just looks like.
Yeah, so I think you should just put it down, and that's the end of show and tell today until you figure out how to fix our camera.
Well, that's where color's important, though, right?
Yeah, well, that's just it. Otherwise,
Makes
everything
you want
looks
to
blah.
eat the tomato.
Hey, Tiffany Q. We're vintage tonight. Chris has wrecked my camera, and it's black and white, and we can't figure. It even does like the little flutter on mine every now and then.
And it's
like
got
that.
the little thingies, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like.
Cool.
See, it just did it there. It did like the little surge of color.
I could say to the plastic comment, plastic hasn't been invented yet because you're actually watching something from the past.
No, that doesn't work at all.
No, because we wouldn't have a shirt that says
about bacon.
Bacon.
No,
T-shirts weren't invented yet.
Somebody had made T-shirts, I'm sure.
Probably.
How do we know that it's not plastic? Need a lady's hat, and Chris needs a top hat. Where's James's top hat?
Oh boy, I don't know.
It is though. It's kind of one of those. I feel like we're in Deadwood or something.
I should almost, if I could find them upstairs quick, I should go grab them. You could wear the big white one.
Go see if you
Give
can
me
find
1
it.
second.
Just
I'll be right
it'd
back.
be funny.
You
It'd
can
be
hold
funny.
the fort. I'll take my.
You'll take your.
my
We're gonna change
tomato.
up show and tell. We're gonna do something different since we can't show the tomato because the color's not right. So we're going to go. This is now becoming a dress up party. Oh my! It is. It's a sad day here. Yeah, when we need to dress up for our YouTube video. I still have. We have our tomatoes just started to turn this week, Crucy, and it went like fast. The first ones, which were our shortest days to maturity ones, and they're about 3 weeks behind schedule what they should have been. And then now they're all going. We were actually kind of complaining about it, and then they're all going, but they're still ahead of all the rest. We got a couple off of our pineapple ones just today, and we did get one Palestine. Well, where's yours?
I got it on. I just had it back in the picture. Here.
Okay. Here we are.
There we go.
Oh, that's not even the right type of hat. This hat doesn't suit me at all.
It's close enough.
Oh well. But anyways, the where was it? Oh, the still nothing from our white Thomasil. They're still all green.
Well, there's a ton of fruit on them.
Yes. You actually look pretty good in that hat. It suits you.
In black and white.
But
Nobody will be able to take us seriously now.
Yeah. But anyways, the white Thomasul still green, and the our San Marzanos. I have one that went red, and then I've got a couple that are just starting to blush, but nothing too
They're
much.
starting.
98% of them are still green. It looks like you belong in the Untouchables. Well, look at how serious you look there. Oh, we should do dress up more often. It's kind of fun.
We'll find different filters for every live.
Well, you got to figure out how you found this filter,
That's
though.
true. I got to fix your hat.
I don't know what's going on. This is Alex's hat. It's not mine, and she wears it out in the garden, and she loves it. But yes, you need a cigar. There you go. Oh. Anyways, I haven't been watching the chat here, so let's see. If you get your hats, then sit in rocking chairs. We need like the like we're on the
You'd
deck.
make it look like we're in rocking chairs.
There you are, yeah.
Do that.
We're just rocking. No.
Oh, that's too funny.
So Eldan's been picking tomatoes as well right now, which is good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I missed some of that, but you were saying the subarctic plenty's producing like pretty much they're almost done.
Yeah, it's interesting, Blends, that you said yours is also, your tomatoes are also running behind, because that's what I think. I feel like I got to move away from you there.
Don't worry, you won't hit me with that. Well, here everything just seemed to, like, the plants grew like mad. They got big quick, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But then they just sort of...
And they're covered.
Well, they're covered now, but they were slow to get the fruit.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we've kind of got the...
But yeah, like you're saying there,
delay.
Chrissy, it just seems like the summer's a little bit off. And I think we've gone, well, to be honest, the one, the subarctic tomatoes that I'm harvesting right now, the plants actually are completely dead. There isn't any green left on them. They've
lost a lot of their leaves and stuff.
I don't know if they got blight or what that is called.
I don't think so.
We just went from cool, wet to scorching heat, and we keep getting the wet, and there's no greenery on them whatsoever.
But all the tomatoes are in great shape. So
the tomatoes are amazing, and they're ripening beautifully, but I think the plants are pretty much dead. But
Yeah.
then they are determinate, so
Yeah.
that they do that.
Yeah. Well, the scotias do the same thing, though. It's just
Yeah, but they're
last
later,
year-
though.
They're later, but last year we got them planted later, and they were still green at frost.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been years past where they've been basically
Yeah,
dead, pretty much.
yeah.
Dead standing. I don't know about the warm fall. We've heard different things.
We've heard that by the end of October we're going to have snow. But maybe it'll be nice and warm until then, which would be okay. I personally like that, sitting between 15 and 22 during the day, all fall. Give me that. I don't really care as long as it's above 0 in the evening. I mean, it can get cooler or not. It doesn't bother me. But I like when it gets to that nice temperature where
You can actually do stuff outside.
Yeah,
You
stuff
can build
and-
things
Yeah.
and not feel like you're dying of heat.
Chrissy's gotten some cucumbers. Then your step up on us. Believe me, our cucumbers did horrible this year.
We'll be lucky to get one or two.
Yeah, I've got of the what did we plant? Probably about 20 plants or 20 seeds and plants came up, and only 2 managed to survive the bugs and the earwigs and this weird weather. And so they're climbing the trellis now, and they have blossoms on them. But I'm not.
There's still time.
I might get something to actually eat.
Yeah,
But
a
not
few,
for any
but no,
canning purposes or
you won't
anything
get
like that.
enough, I
No.
doubt. But, so cooking the crooked neck squash, that's like the yellow crooked neck. You can basically use it as long as it's young enough, and you'll be able to feel the skin goes quite.
You want to go get one for? I guess it'd be hard because
it'll look like a
we're black
crazy-
and white.
One thing I find is
I'll go get the one
gonna
because
get
at least
one?
you can do
do you want me to
the.
get it or
No, it's okay. You can do the size comparison. Just show what you mean.
they tend to be best when they're still quite soft, but you can use them up to a pretty good size. We use them very similar to what you would use zucchini, but they also do freeze really well. We just kind of dice them up and lay them on a cookie sheet, and they freeze amazing. And then you can pull them out of the freezer and put them in any kind of stir fries, like any kind of recipe. And yeah, I don't know. There is even a few recipes. We haven't made them in a while. They're drier than zucchini, but there is some like bread recipes that you can use the yellow crooked neck for. I really like them, but I find they've got more flavor than the zucchini does. That's just my opinion. But usually you can kind of tell when they're really, really young and really soft, they still have the little hairs on them, and then they eventually lose them. There you go, you got some.
I got a nice variety pack here.
So like this little guy would be a, I don't know if you can see if I go in close, you can sort of, well you can. You can just see the hairs on it above my finger. There's my finger. See the hairs. They're not super prickly or anything, but that would be a very young one. So you can just cut the whole thing up. I usually just cut the end off where the flower was, and cut off the stem and the rest, or the stalk that goes to the plant, and the rest of that's completely edible. This one's a little bigger. It's a size comparison. It kind of looks like birds.
But the one thing I brought this one because it's just starting to turn a little bit of a darker yellow,
which you can't see at all.
No, because of and it's got a little bit of bumpiness forming, but the skin is still soft. Like you can still squish it in.
And it doesn't. The hairs are kind of mostly gone, but yeah, it's still quite soft. And this one, when you cut it open, you will see some seeds starting to develop, but it won't be. They're still completely edible. They're not hard yet. But then this one, ooh, it's got a very different shade. It's a lot darker yellow, and
and our vintage. It's starting to get hard.
This is still completely edible. You can eat the skin and everything.
Yeah,
but
you will probably want to take the seeds out of it.
So I was just going to say, at this size, you'll want to cut it out, and we just kind of scoop the middle of the seeds out, and the flesh is usually really, really good.
But one of the things with these ones, when you're leaving, if you find the skin too tough or you're worried about it, you can just take your peeler and take a little bit of it off. But one thing that you can, you just cook them a little bit longer. Like we use them in stir fries, that sort of thing, or cook them up and melt cheese on top, that sort of thing. Like they're really, really tasty.
They like at this size, and like I say, I can kind of hit it pretty good, whereas these ones won't. I can do it, but they're a lot softer.
This one you can't squish.
This one I can't squish, but that's still like, it's not woody or anything. Now they will get more bumpy and a lot more woody, and once they get to that point, then
they're really only good for seed saving.
They don't. They have a long storage life, but there's nothing in them once they get to sort of the winter squash phase.
Okay, so
so those were, I saw a comment come up. These are all yellow crooked neck squash, which is a Cuba Peppo variety. That this is the one that we sort of have forgone growing zucchinis in favor of, so that we can save the seeds and just keep it simple. Yeah, but we absolutely love them. They're super versatile, and I don't know, I think they taste really
freeze good. Amazing. Like that's the one thing that I did love about these instead of freezing zucchini was you just cube it up, and you chuck it in the freezer, no blanching, no nothing, and it comes out and you can chuck it in a stir fry and it still has a wonderful texture, as opposed to being all mushy, which I do find zucchini once you put in the freezer
depends on the kind of zucchini,
mushy.
Yeah.
So we really like them.
Zucchini's a lot more watery. These are drier.
This one here, I'm just addressing James here. It is pebbly, like what you're saying there. It's got bumps on it that are quite firm. I mean, I can just push them down if I really, really try, but it kind of looks like pockmarked or something. And it's a little bit firmer. Definitely still usable, but we do tend to pick most of ours at the smaller size, where it's like the little tasty. Let's put all three for comparison, so you can just see. And we prefer these two over this one, but this one got hidden in there on us, and
you usually get like about a week.
Hey, artist in the garden.
If they've really started to grow for about a week, because once they get going, they
look like ducks. Yeah,
they do. Ducks or geese
and I was going to go back.
I was going to go back up and.
There was another something about the squash.
Sorry, going back up for a second.
Oh, El Dan was talking about the fact that they stored really well. That's what it was. It scrolled up and I couldn't remember. Sorry, and who was there was the struggling with the can. Sorry, we were chatting and now our chat Cindy. Cindy Squirrel. Hi, we didn't mean to miss you. It just the chat ran as we were talking about squash, and so we're going back now to make sure that we see everybody. So Red in the Valley, struggling to get some canning supplies. Uh-oh, this sounds like quite the story. Hopefully you've gotten that sorted out.
About maybe having to get some more too. We have a ton of cans and lids and everything else, but we were talking about we still may need more.
Yeah,
cans.
I need more 500 mils. I bought a bunch of 1 liters last year to bulk out because I was like, oh, I'm going to make more meals. And then this year we're doing a lot more applesauce and things like that I do in the 500 mils. And I am short on 500 mils, even though I have like 1,000. But
you can never have too many cans.
No, I know.
Jars. I guess they're technically jars.
And then I guess I would also address the hats. Mr. Smarty Pants here did something to my phone, which caused us to be in black and white and kind of like this vintage Wild West thing. So now we've made it a dress-up show because why not?
Blanche was saying they fry them up and use them as a roasted vegetable. Exactly. This is where we find them so versatile and they're so prolific. It's one of those things that grows like a weed and you can use it in so many different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, we love it for the roasted veg and that sort of thing. Didn't plant any of your squash this year. Well, next year.
Oh yeah, that's the nice part. There is always next year.
Yeah. Well, and one thing we're finding, an interesting thing, which I don't know if we're going to do a video on it or not, but anyways, we're going to see if anybody here knows the answer. But we have the squash that James started early in our grow room downstairs. It's a winter squash. And it actually has squash on it that I think need to be picked. But we're not sure whether you should pick them now or not.
I've always planted them out, like, in the garden.
And let them start that way.
Not that far ahead. So this one is like, oh gosh, like a month ahead of everything, right? So it's and we don't want
to kill the plant by taking a squash off, but at the same time, it's the most beautiful squash ever. I don't think we've ever had one grow as nice as this one.
We'll probably end up taking it off, but
it's what is it? It's a Cuba. What is it? What kind of squash is it?
Maxima.
A Cuba Maxima. It's like a big grayish blue Hubbard type one.
But like I say, I've never had it get to that point of maturity so early in the season. So.
You just encourage to produce more. Well, this is what we kind of thought. And the other thing was we were just going to eat it. We weren't going to store it because it's too warm to store it already.
I don't think we could store it over winter.
But
too early.
So I was thinking if we broke the neck right at the plant or right at the fruit instead of breaking it off the plant like you would normally do because you don't want to break the necks off for storage or cut it, then it shouldn't damage the plant is my thought.
For us, it's usually a case of with the winter squash, you're pretty much ignoring them until like beginning of October at the earliest, right? And then it's usually a big rush to either get them covered or get them off before they get hit with a frost.
That's interesting what Monica was saying there about the she's been hearing on the Facebook pages and stuff about the canning. We haven't seen it yet. But I know
we haven't really been looking either because we've got so much.
But we do have to get a few things, so it'll probably be a case when we go to get it, we're not going to be able to.
Well,
but
that'll be our prepping for the week. Going and getting more cans.
Going and getting some more jars. Well, and I'm picky because I really like the wide mouth jars, and it seems like everybody likes the wide mouth jars, so you can never find them.
They're a little easier in some ways.
Now that's good that you managed to find some seals. That's something we did. We stocked up on the inners. I think we got, of the small ones, we got 30 boxes, and I think we got 20 boxes of the large size, something like that.
Got a lot.
Anyways, I probably got enough for a few years' supply, and I will admit I am being careful this year, and I have been reusing some of my inner lids. I know everybody says don't do that.
It depends.
I do, I only keep inner lids from things like jams, jellies, things like that didn't go through the pressure canner. Pressure canning always gets brand new lids, but for most of my jams and jellies and things like that, I will reuse lids because it's jam or jelly. What could really go wrong? Relatively speaking, but and every canner does it. They do. They'll say they won't just to be proper, but everybody does it. Especially when you're being careful about not being able to get more lids. I'm gonna just take it off. Oh, now my head is all sweating, but I can't. It's being awkward because every time I look over at you, I gotta like kink my neck.
I'll leave mine on.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if there is any kind of shortage stuff out our end, because so far we haven't seen it yet. But
I'm sure it's coming though. But we're not. We're just starting to get to the point where most people would probably have any volume of stuff to preserve. So
yeah,
the word I'm looking for.
So we'll see. I've got a pretty good stash of empty jars, but
we actually the squash that we have, we just keep calling them the big blue squash. I have looked it up as to what I think they are, but we actually don't know. We just like them because they basically have grown true since we've had them, and they're quite sweet for a Cubra Maxima type.
I would have said
squash.
sweeter than butternut, to be honest.
Yeah, now not as sweet as the Canada Crookneck ones.
I don't know. I haven't been able to compare them one to one,
so we don't actually know. But it is like a large Hubbardy type squash, and they're one that the animals actually like too. So we've kind of always wanted to grow a fair number of them, but we'll see what we end up with this year.
Yeah,
there's a bunch out there, and there's still a bit of time.
Yeah,
squash pumpkins are growing very slowly. It's hard to say, Crucy, because we find a lot of the times you get quite a bit of growth at the end of the plant's life.
And it really seems to be which kind, because like the ones that we have, the striped ones are really, like, I don't know if I'm same as you. I'm not convinced we're going to get anything. They're just super slow and just not, there's flowers. There's even like, it's aborted a few bits of fruit that has started, and
which is funny because we've had lots of rain.
But I don't really know what the story is on that. And then we had all those seeds that we planted down in the food forest that nothing grew. Well, 2 plants grew out of all those seeds that we planted.
Yeah, that was a bit surprising too. Again, because we've got
they were extra ones because we started some elsewhere, and we thought, oh, we'll put in a few extra for animal feed, and they did nothing. And considering we've had so much rain, which is really weird. But yeah,
well, one thing though, I think because we've had cooler weather, not the whole time along, but the cooler weather doesn't help squash.
The squash, the same as what artists in the garden there are saying. It was slow. Like it really was. Even those ones that you planted at the back of the garden, they took a while. They just kind of were. They almost looked more like a zucchini plant in the sense that they kind of were starting, but they never really got the long.
They almost stayed as a bush for a bit, and then all of a sudden just kind of went and spread. Did what they were supposed to do. But hello, Brampton Gardener. Sorry, I don't know if I said hi. Apologize for that.
And
and that's good news too, Deborah, that you got the pressure can.
Yes,
they're definitely great to have because you can do a lot more when you have one.
Oh yeah,
which is
it just gives you a little bit more versatility in preserving stuff, which is nice because we're trying to not have to buy another freezer. And I mean, other people are in the same boat. You're trying not to freezer so much if you can help it. So
we should can some of the meat that we have. I think because that's one thing we've never. We have done it, but we've never really done
not
it
on
as
its
a major.
Own.
Yeah.
I always make the meat into meals ready to go, but we should actually can some of it just to be in jars to use down the road.
Have it there and free up a little bit of space in the freezer.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's it. If prepping for if you lose power, exactly. That's a great thing to do.
That's one thing that we do find, and I know you really want to get an upright freezer, but we do find because we get power outages periodically, a bit more in the winter than the summer. But something that we do like about the chest freezers is you get a little bit more grace period. If the power goes out for a few hours, not the end of the world.
Well, and even
for a few days,
Bettina, and we have a generator that at least will run our freezers and fridge
if we
needed to do it. Like if we're going to have a longer, I think the longest we ever had was 3 days.
Yeah, and even 3 days with chest freezers, it's got a fair bit of stuff in it. Really,
when it's full, it's not.
Really takes a long time for them to thaw out, which is good. And addiction. Yeah, I think it's just being prepared. I think that's homesteading, gardening, whatever you want to call it. Renewable prepping. I don't know. Pick a term. It doesn't really matter, but it's like everybody. That's how people lived, right? It's like you grew enough food or grew / foraged / whatever, enough food to see you through the
Hey, Chris is
the season.
Clevercraft. Well, and it's just that thing of, well, it's like what she's saying about being prepared for a power outage, or even just the fact that that meat stored in a can will last a lot longer than than what it will in the freezer. I don't know. You'd have to, maybe you'll include it in your video, but I'm not sure. I think you must be at least like 5 years. I mean, I know if you go into the prepping thing, they say years. Like you can be 20 years and still eat that meat. I probably would try and rotate it out a little quicker than that, but that's just me.
Well, that's the other thing too about renewable, right? If you're always going to have,
if you're always going to keep doing it, you're going to eat from your preps basically, and you keep putting new ones, to the back.
Well, it's always a good idea. We've kept the classical spaghetti sauce jars too before they're great. Yeah. We use them too for what did you? Was it milk?
I used to freeze my milk in them. Yeah.
They worked well for the milk, but then we did freeze them in. We froze yogurt in it. Don't do that.
No,
that
it
didn't go
the
so
jar.
well.
The yogurt did break the jar. That's very
yogurt
true.
freezes different than the milk does, but
so it's true.
I do agree with that too. The older chest freezers really seem to keep the cool in, but both of ours are a little bit older. The one we bought used, and it's definitely older. The other one's was
the freezer that I bought when we first got our place, so it's 14.
Yeah, so it's older. 14,
and then one of them is probably 20 years old at least. But they're both running great. I mean, it's one of those things, but oh boy, our chat is moving along here. Brett, sorry, you've got the thingy that doing refrigerator jams and pickles. I've not done, or do you just mean it's just jam that you don't can? I don't know what a refrigerator jam is, but that's intriguing.
Do they keep? We've never really done it. Do they keep for a fairly long time? Like I would assume the sugar content helps with that, but Jane, we've done the same thing. The normal size jars, and we've gone in occasionally and bought quite a few. We buy
quite a few. The only thing I do find with the Dollarama ones, which it's not a big deal, but I often find there's always one lid that's damaged in it. So maybe that's how they get them. I don't know. It's still a whack load cheaper than what it is anywhere else, so it really doesn't matter.
That's a good point about stockpiling the spices.
Yes,
and that's something we've got to get a little better, but we have done it. But there's certain things you can't. No matter the best of intentions, you can't grow it.
No.
So it's nice to.
And I do. I can a lot of curries, a lot of curry sauces. Whether it's like I'm gonna totally butcher how to pronounce them, but jalfrezis, baltis, butter chicken, and those use so much spice. Yet I don't want to not be able to make them in the future. So we do stock a lot of curry type spices. Which I know, we've tried growing the turmeric and things like that, but it's just, you can't grow the amount that I use.
Well, and that's where, if you were going to assign a label to it, that's where it becomes prepping, because storing that stuff, salt, black pepper, all those things.
Yeah.
That's where
it becomes prepping.
Yeah. You need to stockpile it, or.
Oh yeah. Well, but I think most people do, because you just never know. And especially in like this COVID stuff that we've been in, it's been nice to just not have to go and run and get one thing or two things. It's like you always do this big, stockpile of everything, so that come canning season, I don't have to run around. That's quite nice.
Deborah, yes, you can freeze juice. We freeze when we make the apple juice.
When we press our apple juice.
We press it. It's relatively concentrated. And what we do is we basically freeze it.
Hi, Canadian Peaches. Good to see you.
We freeze it as it is, and then when we bring it out of the freezer, we basically then dilute it to a bit more.
But the one thing is, when we freeze our juice, we only fill the jars or whatever you're storing it in 3/4 full.
A good thing to use is like a pop bottle type thing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's plastic and it won't shatter.
Over the years, we've saved a whole bunch of those the 2-liter apple juice it was Allen's apple juice, the 2-liter plastic bottles. We've saved a lot of them because they stack really nice in the freezer. So we've kind of used them, but I have done juice in the glass jars. You can use the 1-liter jars. You just don't fill them all the way up. And definitely don't put them in the microwave to unthaw them. Figured that one out the hard way. It will not go well.
Little useful tips.
Yes.
We pick up along the way. I've heard of freezer jam before.
Okay,
I suppose
so
freezer jam and
the whole year. That's
refrigerator
awesome.
jam's kind of the same. Probably very, very similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, we probably will make some. You're pretty good at canning the jams, though. So.
I make a lot of canned jam, but
Yeah,
then
we have a
that's
lot.
because we eat a lot of jam. But that's all right. If you've got the stuff kicking around, might as well.
And that's a good point too about using smaller jars. You were talking about that today with what was the thing you were talking about? Was it the
Salsa.
applesauce?
Oh, the applesauce. Yeah.
Because you could do it in the bigger jars, but then you run the risk of opening it up in the fridge and only using half and it getting shoved to the back of the fridge and wasted. Whereas the smaller jar is kind of nice because you're basically going to eat the whole thing. And that's something that we were chatting about today. Actually.
Oh yeah. It is because. I mean, anybody who cans knows you get a fridge that's full of jars and you're like, when was that opened? Or when was... So I prefer to put stuff in jars that you're using it basically all on that sitting. Mm-hmm. I know like jams and jellies is a little bit different, but we have a rule in the house that no more than 2 jars of jelly can be opened at the same time because some people like one kind and some like another. So 2 jars can be opened, but that's it. Then we know.
Don't lose track.
Because otherwise, they get stuffed to the back of the fridge, and then it's just like, oh gosh, when was that? Not that jams or jellies go bad, but other things are like when we open a barbecue sauce or tomato juice. Tomato juice is a terrible one because it gets stuffed to the back, and then we go, when was that tomato juice opened? Well, I don't know.
Canadian Peaches is from Manitoba.
I know.
That's
I am
cool.
originally from Manitoba, so. Kindred spirits. I am originally from the Interlake area. So
yeah, it's easy to forget about the spice stuff until you actually need it. And we will be completely upfront. We're not the best at being super organized on that front. We just know we need to do better on some storage of that sort of things.
Of the spices and stuff. Yeah,
that's
I have a list of things, and I always go and stock up right before canning season because I have a list of all the things I want to make, and I know what what I need for those things. So I go out and buy them so that I know I don't have to run around. But then I am terrible for replenishing them after canning season, and that's something I should improve on because if anything ever happened and I couldn't get them,
we'll get better.
But we
always get better.
We're pretty good at like salt, vinegar.
It would be interesting to
the
try
vinegars,
to make the vinegar.
yeah, it would be I tried to make apple cider vinegar, and I know everybody's going to laugh because it's supposed to be so simple, but I don't know if mine necessarily turned out wonderfully. We did use it for the animals, but I never got like a mother on it, and it smelled okay. Like it smelled like apple cider vinegar, but I wasn't.
It was all right, but
I have one more jar, so I should probably just taste it and see.
We need to experiment with that more.
But I'd be interested to look into how to make the white vinegar as well. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to try the apple cider vinegar again because, well, we have a plethora of apples, so might as well.
Speaking of apples, it's awesome that you made the crab apple jelly with the Brampton Gardener. It's that's one that we really like too.
We make a lot of crab apple jelly.
We just had that this morning actually. It was crab apple jelly from last year.
The
elderberry juice.
Ooh.
That's something I want to. We've actually
we discovered the cows discovered.
We've discovered some black elderberries on the property. So in the future we will be cloning to bring some closer.
Yeah, because they're way at the back in the cow pasture.
We should be we should be able to harvest a little bit from them. So we should be able to get a bit of a harvest of elderberries this year.
Yeah, we haven't even gone back and checked. I never even thought to go back and check in them.
They shouldn't be ready yet. I think they're a little bigger,
but yeah, we want to definitely develop.
They were
those a little bit
We're
closer.
going to have to release them because they were pretty crowded in by some other shrubs and that.
Yeah,
but they're still there, so
yeah, they're still alive. Put the chalkboard stickers on the jars and write the date. Yeah, now that's a good idea. Great idea.
That is a bad idea.
Make a video on that.
Or even the Post-it note. That's also another another good one.
Yeah. It's just terrible because you need something that's standard that everybody knows to do it and they do it.
Train the kids.
Train you too. You need to be trained.
Bad.
I don't know. You never label the eggs when we put them down.
That's true.
You never put the date on the eggs. And then I'm like, when were these eggs from? I guess we have to eat them first. Um, where are we? North of Riding Mountain Park. Oh, fantastic. We used to take our horses and ride in Riding Mountain Park, and we'd stay in Clear Lake. So, kind of know the area. I don't know if I've done too much north of Riding Mountain, but that's okay.
You know, rough area.
I know the rough area, so it's a very pretty place to be.
Yes, I really like the dandelion jelly too. You like the crabapple better. I like the dandelion.
The dandelion jelly, I like. I liked the version made with the crystals, the pectin crystals. I didn't like the version made with liquid pectin, and unfortunately, most of our dandelion jelly that we have is made with the liquid pectin because I only tried the one with the crystals. But you like the liquid pectin version better because it tastes like honey. Hey, Cassie, how you doing?
Hello.
So yeah, I think definitely the dandelion jelly's good. It's just not my favorite. That's all. But hey,
that's okay. That's the nice part about jams and jellies. You can make quite a bit of it out of different things.
Yeah. I think IKEA sells
elderberry juice concentrate. We will do a video on grapes because we have some interlocking. I think I said that right. Or interlaken.
Well, I want to do wild grapes.
Well, I was just gonna say we've got the eating grapes that we planted this year. They survived the winter in the tote,
and they're doing amazing.
So that's a
although they're really wound into my noodle beans, so it'll be interesting getting them apart later. But that's all right. Yeah.
But we do use a lot of the wild grapes for wild grape jellies, and also the syrup is pretty good out of them. We're kind of becoming big fans of making like.
Syrup we make drinks where you take the syrup, you mix it with sugar, and you have to put lemon juice in order to preserve it. But then you just put a little bit of that in water. It's kind of like those little. It's not the sugar-free version, but the little squirty things that flavor your water. It's kind of like that, or Ribena. If anybody's had Ribena, that's blackcurrant syrup. Yeah. Similar to that, anyway. So it flavors your waters. It's kind of nice. So we're going down the line of doing a lot more of like the grapes, the cherries, that sort of thing as the syrups, which are great for waffles, pancakes, the drinks, ice cream, works great for all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, for anybody coming in, the filter was an accident.
Yes.
Looks cool though, but I don't even know what I hit.
He did it.
There wasn't even a button there.
I don't know what you did, but he did it, and so now we're in vintage mode, and we can't figure out how to get back without it mucking up and getting us buffering. So,
but that's okay.
That's all right. So this is how we're going to be today. I did originally have a cute hat on too, but it was just way too hard to talk to Chris and like not hit him in the face with the side of my thing. Honey badgers. I don't use liquid. You know what? I'm very fast being converted to this. I learned doing all my jams and jellies with liquid pectin, and now I'm trying the powdered and absolutely love it. I mean, the flavor is so much stronger with everything. What was the other one that I did both? Oh, the cherry. We did the choke cherry jelly as a video with all the taste tests of the different versions.
And there was a big difference.
It was huge difference. Loved the powdered. I also want to try and make my own pectin with the apples this year. I say that as the apples are ripening like mad and falling, and I know you have to use less ripe apples to get the pectin. So, but I do want to try it. I don't know if it'll be a video because it's something I've never tried before, but it will be an experiment that, I think will be a fun one. And it'd be nice because pectin is something that we stockpile, but it still has a best before date. So it's kind of a slippery slope, you know. I mean, if you ever can't get it, what do we do? So I do want to know how to make it out of the apples. So that's my hope anyways, is to get into
that is good too for Red in the Valley that you found quite a few of the wild grapes, because they're kind of one of those things that people don't think about, but you can make quite a bit out of them, which is pretty awesome. And the crooked neck squash, the Canada crooked neck, we were looking at it. We have no idea how many's coming, but they are setting pretty well.
There's hundreds on there.
So we'll see. We'll just have to see what happens with it, because
definitely don't need to plant so many Canada crooked neck squash.
Or do we?
I think we're gonna do a poll. I think we should do a poll on our community page.
How many pounds? Of squash?
How many pounds of squash? And we should do We should do it.
Do it.
I'm not sure. We have to look into that as to whether we can do a poll where people actually guess a number, because that would be fun. Because whoever guesses closest gets a prize. That'd be kind of fun. Anyways, we're gonna look into that. So watch our community page because it will come.
Watch the space.
The Canada crookneck. Well, they're already turning color. Some of them.
Some of them.
So they probably be harvested in September at some point. But oh boy, we're skipping ahead, and it's. So I go back for me for a second. Sorry, he's in control of the mouse. There was a zucchini fruit cocktail. So what is that?
That'd be interesting.
I've heard. Isn't it don't people make like pineapple zucchini or something like that?
Yeah,
it's like
I've heard of that. We've never tried that.
No, I'd be very curious on that. That sounds very interesting.
Bonnie and Clyde feel.
Confit, a roasted cherry tomato with olive oil.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, we have cherry tomatoes. Like, I should take a video. Oh, sorry, I should shake the camera. I should do a video of our garden because it is. We haven't done a garden tour in a couple weeks, and it's out of control. Our cherry tomatoes are
massive,
about 12 feet high, because the top of that trellis is 9 feet.
And they're above it.
And they're way above the top of the trellis. So our cherry tomatoes have gone absolutely crazy. And they're covered, like they're just falling to the ground. I can't even consume them at any pace to keep up.
I don't know, could you use gelatin for jam? Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Could. We've never tried it, but I don't see why you couldn't. And we can definitely send you some Canadian or Canada crooked neck squash. No problem. Probably we'll wait until this year's bunch to send them to you.
Where are you seeing that?
Cassie.
Oh, Cassie, yes.
Yeah.
We'll send to everybody. Canada crookneck. There you go. I think because we sent
Red Valley planted 3 seeds and there's squash coming galore. But
yeah,
I honestly, I don't think, like, if you're...
And somebody was really smart and planted 54. 54.
But if you're trying to grow food relatively simply, you want those things that just want to grow and produce you. So if Canada crooked neck squash is that way, then I'm all for it.
Yeah,
because it tastes
exactly
good. You still have to like the taste of it. But we tend to like squash, though.
We do.
We haven't eaten a lot of it in the last year because we didn't
grow very much last year. So well, other than the crooked neck, the summer squash, we had lots, but we didn't have lots of the other stuff. I was just going to touch on, because Cassie's talking about the perennial kale. Our the red Russian kale this year
just keeps growing.
Is amazing. We planted all that stuff last year, and then this year it grew again to provide us with thousands and millions of seeds, which is amazing. And then we had so we came and we cut all the seed stalks off of it, but left the plant. And the plant just keeps producing and producing. Out of every place that there was a leaf, there's a whole bunch more little leaves coming. And it's like having baby kale galore. Like, it just keeps coming and keeps coming. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, it's good, and they're all doing it.
Oh,
so
it's like, all of it. So we're gonna throw the cover over it again this year and see what happens. Because if it goes to seed again next year or does something, that'll be great. Because now we're not worried about it, because you can still use the plant even after it's gone for seed,
which is a million billion.
Yeah, but
thousands.
If you can make it into a perennial, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I think, anyways. And I was going to say the crab apples, Brampton Gardener, are awesome for the pectin. Like, I don't put anything in with my crab apple jelly. It's just the jelly, the apple sugar.
Yeah, you don't need anything.
You don't need any pectin. But the one thing that they do recommend is using 25% of your apples be less than ripe, because that's where I'm thinking with getting the apple pectin. You need to have unripe apples are the best ones to provide that pectin. So
yeah, when they get overripe, they really don't produce.
Yeah, plums also. Plums are another thing. If anybody has plum tree,
I think
plums
you can do it at a
have a lot of
need a lot
pectin.
Of
yeah, I tried the no pectin version, and I think you need a lot of sugar to make it work. But plums, as long as you leave the skins in the jam, they also have a natural pectin.
Because we have some zucchini to use up. We should try doing the
I've
takes on
got
the
four
face.
nice sized zucchinis on the table right now. So,
Take the fruit
place the,
and we're gonna
so
try
then
that.
so you don't have to put any sauce or anything on it though. It's just you cut up the fruit and put the zucchini in. I'm very curious on this.
That's pretty awesome that your mystery squash was delicate squash, because that was another one that was a bit hard to stop growing because they're really good. They're not very big, but they taste really good. And I know they're one that kind of has fallen out of favor commercially because they don't transport well because they're relatively thin skinned, but they store well. Like you can store them all winter, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They're a nice one.
Hickory squash
Hickory
farm.
squash farm.
Well, somebody's definitely but the nice thing about the squash is if we can't eat it, the animals will. Like we've got the pigs and the chickens and all that; they all love that sort of stuff. So you definitely get
a lot of
yeah.
You get a lot of return on your investment in seeds planted. And that was the whole point of only keeping the 4 varieties, because it just kept it easy. You could save seeds from the best squash and didn't have to worry about it hand pollinated and all that other stuff. So
just made it simple. We like life to be simple. Well, I say that. I suppose from the outside looking in, our life probably doesn't look very simple, but we do try and do things to make it simpler. Try.
Yeah, it does work in the long run.
Yeah.
But 75 zucchini plants, that's a lot of zucchini plants.
Holy.
I would definitely understand the need
Thought
to
they
look
were
for...
cucumber. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Still, not a terrible problem to have.
I hope you're picking them as baby zucchinis. Because that'd be a lot of zucchini. I don't think I would add the cinnamon to it. So that's interesting that it's just... Now, sorry, I know we're talking recipe here, but so do you just then let it sit in the fridge to marinate for a little while? Like how does it get the zucchini absorbs a fruity type taste?
Oh, okay. Make a light syrup to cook.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's pretty good that you still got a butternut squash. You'll have to cut it open and see how it is inside. I bet you it'll be fine.
Yeah.
They do have quite the storage life as long as they don't get anything on the outside.
Your red Russian kale got taken out by the cabbage white. Ours, it took a beating and then kind of came back, and now it's really going. I don't know. Something's going on with it now.
It didn't get...
not the seed ones, but the ones that we actually planted this year are not doing well.
The geese ate them down to nothing.
Well, yeah, the geese killed them, and then...
It kind of has had nothing but hard starts, so... That's something we need to do, is get some fall seedlings started.
Yes, we're behind. We're behind.
Still have time on the kale.
Well, we're gonna get a whole bunch of stuff that we can just put under tunnel cover type things, I think.
Yeah.
Like the kales.
We've got big plans. We're not sure if that's going to happen.
Well, it's not going to happen. we were hoping to build our greenhouse tunnel before winter. I don't think it's going the high tunnel. I don't think it's going to happen. We've got some bits and pieces. It's not like it's just a carport type tunnel.
It's just time.
But yeah, we'll see. Maybe it'll happen. Okay. Maybe it'll be, like you say, a really, really nice long fall that's perfect for getting things done.
And we just keep building.
Yes.
Just keep building. Just keep building.
Okay. Was that Dory? Dory just keeps swimming.
Stuffed zucchini is good. I used to grow, again, this is all these things that were hard to forgo in the quest for keeping things simple. But we used to grow...
But those stuff really nice too.
They do stuff well too, but it's called round Denise. It was a round zucchini, and that was like the best way to use them, was stuffing them with whatever you wanted, and they were really good. But we decided, and I think that's the thing with the keeping it simple. You can still produce a ton of food, but sometimes it's picking your battles wisely as to what you want to focus on. And yeah, we know that for some things. Yeah. We don't for others yet, but like tomatoes.
Yeah, we're still experimenting with other things, but that's part of the fun too.
Brampton Gardener's getting hungry.
Yes. So Red in the Valley, I see there now. You've got some butternut squash as well. So definitely I could see that area of the garden is getting crazy.
We'll have to show what our squash patches look like. The yellow crooked. Well, the yellow crooked neck squash is looking pretty crazy too. It's completely. We planted it. You only planted it in the one raised bed, right? Or was there some in the
Yeah, it's
one?
just exploded out.
It's covered like 3 raised beds pretty much, and just gone everywhere.
I've never had it though grow so long, and
well, I think it's just it grew so big.
Have a good night, Brampton Gardener. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Hot pepper seeds to share. That's awesome. My hot peppers, I have to admit, I did not look after them very well. They started out really good, covered with peppers on them, and then the weeds got up, and I didn't go in and pick the peppers off, and most of them just rotted right on the plant. So they're on to round 2 now, but it's put a little bit of a delay on anything that I needed hot peppers for. But
I'm sure they'll come back though.
Yeah.
We think we've. Spoiler alert, we think we've potentially made the decision to just focus on 2 of the 4 kinds of peppers that we've been growing.
Yeah, just do
to keep it a bit simpler.
The Italian frying and then the hot pepper.
Yeah, the Black Hungarians.
Yeah.
Because we really like those varieties, and they're both extremely prolific and easy to grow.
Yeah.
And we really like the Doe Hills, but yeah, it's kind of, do we need them for the complexity of it?
Well, it just makes it awkward well, it doesn't really make it awkward, but it's just something else that you got to think about and remember and space out. And yeah, our whole mode this summer has been how to simplify things, but still create still produce as much as we need, but in a simpler way. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we're kind of going down the line of less is more in some ways, because we're going to grow less varieties, but grow more of those varieties, and choosing things that do really well and are easy for us to grow, and we know don't kind of cause problems, which I think is a good way to move forward. We've been doing this for, over 10 years, and we've done a lot of experimenting with different kinds and things like that. So we know what we like.
There'll still be other experiments.
Oh yeah, there will be, but
certain things like you say, it's like the squash. We basically know
what ones you like.
Although we might be experimenting with the 4th variety, we'll see.
Yeah, if you can get the seeds.
If we can get the seeds for it.
Yeah. My grandma. Oh, fried onions and ground beef in them. Oh, yeah, that sounds really good. Now, if you just wrap that in bacon, I am sold. It just sounds like something that should be wrapped in bacon.
Oh, that's funny.
Pepper jam, yeah, I love red pepper jam.
Pepper jelly.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of it, but you like it quite a bit.
Yeah. Another thing that's really nice with the extra hot peppers is I make the Thai chili sauce. Mm-hmm. You can make sweet chili. That's
really good.
Or you can just do regular Thai chili sauce. I tend to do the regular Thai, but this year I might actually do some of the sweet one too, which kind of goes more like a jelly but they're really good.
Less is more is another good shirt idea.
Yeah, less is more. We're coming up with a few different ones there. Yeah, Blans is helping us to.
It is a good idea.
I know. We need to figure it out. We did look into it because sounds like everybody uses Teespring. Teespring? Was that what it was?
In Canada, anyways.
I think even in the States, a lot of people might use Teespring.
You looked into it more than I did.
Yeah. So it could be kind of fun. We've always kind of said, oh, do we really want to do, shirts and things? But maybe we will. It'll come eventually, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're not big fans of spaghetti squash.
A few of them I don't mind, but we had a really good year of it, and we had really hard trouble using it all up.
Yeah.
Yes, you can use it as a substitute, but I don't know. It was that same thing though, because the spaghetti squash crosses with the yellow crooked neck squash, so we kind of made the decision that's the one we like better. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you end up with a lot. And we tried feeding it to the animals, and they didn't want to eat
the spaghetti squash.
It was kind of funny, even if you cooked it and everything else.
So then it was like, it was one of those things of, we would get spaghetti squash growing out in the pastures, and have to go and chop it out so that you didn't have crossing with other things. And
Yeah, we did have that problem too.
but that's just because the animals didn't want to eat it. We could have spent the time, I guess, to remove seeds.
We've tried quite a few different kinds of squash actually over the years. Waltham butternut, delicate squash, red curry squash, which we liked, but it has very specific uses. These big blue Hubbard squashes that we've got, the yellow crooked neck, the round Denise zucchini. We did a couple other zucchinis. I can't remember the names of them. Gosh, what else? The striped, or the green striped Kershaw and the Tennessee sweet potato squash. We've tried both of those with mixed results. There's others. There's been quite a few. So we've given lots a good try.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about different ways to use the hot peppers there, about making hot spices and things, which, yeah, we've done that. It's good. It works great.
Oh, she said, yeah, it's Teespring.
Okay.
So easy. That's cool. You're going to create your own too. So we'll have to.
Well, that's what we've got to tweak. We got to tweak our logo so that it doesn't. Basically, you need to pay for a program so you can get rid of the white around it. But see, because I think our logo would look really, really nice on a black hat, but it's got to have, I think, a little white ring that goes around the red and the black so that it pops out. So I got to figure out. Yeah, we want to figure out how to do that, and then
just haven't got there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to eventually get myself a fanny pack with the, because around the farm, oh my gosh, I was like anti-fanny packs forever because I couldn't stand them. I thought it was just the horriblest thing ever. And now I'm just like, you think you can find one when you want one?
It becomes a tool. It becomes like your what's it? Your bat belt, your bat tool belt.
Yeah.
From Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got all your tools in it.
But I'd like the fanny pack with our logo on it, and I'd like a visor. That's what I would like.
Yeah.
For myself. I'm not talking about for selling the product, but I'd like it so that when I'm in the video, I can wear it. Yeah, I did see that. I couldn't believe the price of a fanny pack, but yes, I did see that they had them. So I'm probably going to break down and sort something out eventually with that, with the Teespring, because it sounds neat. So that's kind of cool that you guys are setting it up. I wasn't even thinking as far as a merch store and stuff. I thought they just kind of did it all. Like when you signed up with Teespring, I thought, you'd punch in a few magical numbers and this, that, and the other, and it just appears.
Oh, that's funny.
Eldan, they're pro fanny pack as well. But it's so funny because all through my 20s and whatever, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody's wearing a fanny pack, blah, blah, blah. I was one of those. And now it's just like, well, that would be so handy for, your pruners, your treats, your cell phone. That's the one thing that kills me because, of course, creating YouTube videos, you carry your cell phone everywhere, and half of my clothes don't have pockets. So yeah, but anyways, I'm ranting instead of reading what's going on. Good. So hopefully you're with it.
I'm playing with the yellow squash. I was going to go back to the habaneros. You could probably make like a, what do you call that? A spicy sauce.
A Tabasco,
like a hot sauce. You could probably make a hot sauce out of them.
I did.
It would be pretty hot though.
Yeah, well, remember I fermented the peppers last year.
Oh, they were good.
And then I fermented just a stash of hot peppers. The first time I'd ever done it, and I got nervous because they kind of got a little whatever. So I quickly took them out and canned them, and it made amazing. It still had that fermented taste, but I canned it in the end because I was nervous to leave it fermenting because I'm new to fermenting.
Well, not so much.
Bland's does fermented hot sauce. So there you go. I just got really nervous. It seemed like it was going weird for me. And then, of course, I panicked. And other people, since then, I have seen and read some stuff that I was worried for nothing. But anyways, fermented hot sauce I just put all the peppers in, fermented them, and then pureed it up into a hot sauce and chucked it in the fridge. And it was delicious.
Good night, Deborah. I think you're probably gone, but... And I was going to go back up here for a second. Yeah, definitely looking for wide brim hats. Great idea. You see me wearing mine in a lot of videos. You should have one.
I never wear a hat. I know.
I like Cassie's idea on the T-shirt. Substitute the bacon for Canada crooked neck squash.
Yeah.
That actually would be a funny one too, especially once we know how many pounds.
Yeah. Suspiciously wide. It's too hot to
Yours
wear
is pretty.
This one's pretty wide.
Pretty wide. It's floppy though.
Well, that's because Alex has mucked it up.
Well, true.
It wasn't floppy to begin with. It did stay out, but she's played around with it so many times. But this would drive me absolutely crazy out trying to work. It would drive me nuts.
Actually, that would work the ammo belt fanny pack because it would have more. It would be more of a tool belt.
Do they have that?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, you can get all sorts of. You can do all sorts of things. You can get all sorts of. You could do like the whole.
But I can't get my logo on that.
All true. That's true.
I want my logo. I'm gonna start branding. We need to brand. That's another thing. I said I want to get the little sticker for on the vehicles because there's been a few people, the other channels that we follow, that have gotten some really nice decal work done on their vehicle with their. I don't want it to be splash saying YouTube blah blah blah. You know, I mean, I just want it to be nice and tasteful. I think it'd be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fanny pack is like a large pocket. Just think, you could wear 2 fanny packs and have 2 large pockets.
No, you're being a boy. No.
But I'm always the one where like...
You're going to go one on the front, one on the back?
Or one on either side.
No, fanny pack won't go on this side.
It can.
No.
Yeah, and it could be like pruning shears and squash.
Oh boy, I think somebody's tired tonight.
It's just because we're in old-timey mode.
Large pockets, yeah. They need to have a good... Anyway, I'm going to look into it because I did see them on Teespring. They were a little bit pricey, but it could be worth it. So, hey, Freehandly Maid, how are you doing?
Welcome to our old-timey...
Yeah, we're old-fashioned tonight, and we don't know how to change it. So we're rolling with it, and it's kind of fun.
Just going back to...
The bugs don't like big hats, really.
Yeah, that's true. They won't go in underneath them because most of the flies, the horse flies, the deer flies, and the black flies don't... I've always heard it said they're like claustrophobic. They don't like going in underneath stuff.
Really?
It's like when you have a car, if you lock one of them in a car, they don't bite you. They spend all their time trying to get out. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Whereas mosquitoes, they don't care.
No.
They'll just go to where the CO2 is.
The cowboy candy is supposed to be very good.
That's
I've never tried
I've
it.
never actually tried.
Never tried. I don't think I've even tried to eat it.
No,
but then I'm not a spicy food, but I think it ends up being sweet.
It's got a little bit of spice.
But I've heard it's supposed to be very good. The wide brim Tilly hat. Okay.
Well, that's cool. A fanny pack from the '88 Olympics. That's
cool.
That's
kind of cool. Alex just got a fanny pack. She bought it for herself, but it was just with the rainbows on it. But it works great for her with the sheep, and she puts her treats in it. Has to be firm with the overalls. Okay, yeah. What is the
Get a circuit?
A circuit? Not sure what that is.
Might have missed something.
Why not wear a saddlebag?
Just need a million, or you need like a shirt that's like got a million pockets on it.
Fishing shirt. Although they're little pockets, though.
That's true.
The fishing vest. I like the idea of the fanny pack. I think I'm going to keep rolling with it. I just need to figure it out.
Timber cruising vest. Those have lots of big pockets in them. For when people that do like tree marking and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'll work.
Not sure. I guess they're comfortable enough for the day.
Yeah.
But
that's interesting that Costco has one. Well, it might be worth getting one anyways before I figure out the logo thing, but and at a decent price rather than the old-timey mode's really cool. Totally not intentional, but it is what it is for today because, we can't figure out how to get it back.
We don't know how we did it.
No. And it's the royal we. You don't know how you did it.
It wasn't even a button.
A die cutting machine. Ah.
That makes sense about the photosensitive too, that they pick up on it. I imagine it's got maybe a predator avoidance thing or something, right? Because a lot of those bugs don't go into the thick underbrush where things are going to catch them and eat them.
Oh, that's too bad that they wore it out. But I guess it got good use,
That
honey
is nice,
badgers,
though.
so that's good.
I had one for years because I had it from when I was in public school and in like Cubs and stuff. And same thing. Eventually, it just kind of wore out. So now I have a new one.
Hmm. I was going to the die cutting thing. I have a die cutting thing for my fabric.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
the same idea.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for cutting quilt pieces with the die cutter.
A circuit vinyl sticker maker thingy. Oh, okay.
Okay.
That could be kind of cool. I have to look into that.
Yeah, we got some stickers from another channel, and we thought it'd be kind of fun to do like get some stickers made and do like, I don't know,
Well, that's
collecting
kinda neat.
stickers. It's kind of fun thing. I don't know where I'm going to put them. I'd probably just put them in a book, or maybe we'll do a sticker wall that we sit in front of for our lives or something. But I think it'd be kind of fun to exchange stickers. I just got to figure out making stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All skills we haven't quite mastered yet.
Exactly. It's retro. Exactly. It's kind of one of those funny things when you get to that point that it's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was old is now cool.
But it does that. It always goes in cycles, right?
Yeah.
But, hello, Bomber Steve. Yeah,
Hey, how you doing?
we keep explaining the accident that is our old-time filter.
Yes. Yes.
No clue how we did it.
Somebody touched my phone and got us into black and white, old Wild West kind of look, and we can't figure out how to get it back. So hopefully we'll figure that out before our next live, so that we're in a different mode, or we'll maybe try something different because now we know that you can actually put filters on your video, which is kind of cool. We didn't know we could do that.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of cool.
we might explore and see what other ones are out there.
Play around, get all cinematic.
Yeah, yeah. But for now, we're looking like a 50s film or 40s. When did color start?
I should know this.
Well, anyway. I don't remember what it was called. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense about finding the companies that'll just kind of do it all for you, and they can kind of take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they could probably take our logo
Yeah.
and
They probably fix it.
well, they could probably make it work, right?
Yeah. Well, Chris did a good job designing it and whatnot. It's just one of those things that, I mean, you can see it in the bottom of the screen there right now, and it has the white corners around the edge, and basically we used a free program, and in order to remove those you have to pay for the program. So they do have a free trial, but it would be just my luck that we get it all sorted and use the free trial, and then there'll be something else that we want to try and do.
That'll be different.
And the free trial will be over. So
well, that's cool that you guys have stickers. That would be cool. We got to make one so then we can send you one back.
okay. Yes, I think that's going to be our first thing we try and do is the stickers, because I think it would be fun. Stickers and then Christmas cards, and everybody can get a sticker in their Christmas card. There we go.
Well, that's awesome that you got your orchard planted. We'll have to check that video out because that's a big thing, getting your fruit trees in order and in place, because it's kind of that longer term. We cheated. we bought a place that had a lot of them, but
it doesn't have everything that we want. So
No.
we're still adding, but it did have a lot of apples. Chris actually thinks he might have found a plum tree in the food forest, which is nice.
I just don't know what kind. It's not a Canada plum, so I don't know. It hasn't got any fruit. I have to kind of.
We have to remove
I have
some
to release
maple
it
trees
from,
and stuff.
It's got some Manitoba maples that are seriously crowding it right now, but it's still alive and in pretty good shape actually. So
yeah, well, we fertilized the heck out of it because we were piling manure there.
then that's how I found it.
Yeah, so it's going to be good. Once we get it opened up so it can actually produce some fruit, we'll see what we've got. That's awesome. You like the logo. Thank you. I think it basically is kind of that how our barn looks, really. So
Yeah,
it's quite
I
nice.
figured the barn will be there for a while. So.
We've actually even made plans to paint our house to match our logo. I know that sounds really crazy, but we have a red roof on our house, so we were like, maybe we'll paint the house black and do like the white trim around the windows and the white porch. I think would look kind
Not
of cool.
100% sure black house is the best idea, but some people do it.
We might roll with it. It's one of those. Our house is a wood-sided house, so right now it's painted like this horrible cream color that I can't wait to get rid of. And so we originally had talked about doing it slate blue, and we kind of said, well, maybe we should do black so that it kind of goes in with the theme.
Well, then we can just use like black fence paint. And
Yeah.
not have to worry about mixing colors and all that sort of stuff. Keep it super simple.
Snake season.
I suppose that would be something where you are to think about. That's the one thing where we live, we don't have any poisonous snakes, and there's only one. Used to be two, but there's only one in all of Ontario. So, and they're not very aggressive. You've got to really pester them to get them to bite.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen any of them really here. Like, we've got garter snakes here, but that's about it. We haven't seen anything else, have we?
Yeah, we've got on our property, all of ours are just kind of small, unassuming ones. We've got the eastern garter snakes, the DK's brown snake, the northern red belly snakes, and that's all we've seen. But I'm sure there's more. We're in gray rat snake
Thanks
country.
for coming in, Free Handley. Have a good one. How long till we see fruit? Will it need a pollinator? Well, that's what I'm not 100% sure on, because it's big, like it's a big tree, not big by like some of our apple tree standards, but that's about that round on the trunk. So
it's like
it may
15
need
feet
to
tall.
have a pollinator of some description.
Now we did plant 2 toka plums, not that far from it, so
and
that
they did
might
have
work.
blossoms this year, but it blossomed right when we had the frost and everything kind of aborted. So it'll be interesting to see if we open it up next year and then the toka plums also blossom. Hopefully we will have some decent fruit come from it so we can discover what it is, because I'm really hoping it's a nice purple eating plum. That's what I'm hoping.
I think there's a good chance that it came from a pit that somebody
tossed a pit and But yeah, I think we're probably still a little ways out from. Well, our toka plums might produce fruit next year because they were covered in blossoms this year.
They're growing pretty well right now.
But they're still really small. Like they're only 10 feet tall, maybe.
Oh,
Probably not even, because the goats kind of destroyed the one, so they might not even be that tall.
They'll come back though.
Yeah.
That's pretty good though. 16 of 20, so you're gonna have a decent sized orchard by the time it gets going. We'll have to look for that video.
Got a real mix. That's good. We should really go and check on your cherry trees and see how they're doing. We've been so busy with other stuff, we actually haven't even really gone into the food forest to look at stuff. So hopefully things are still doing all right. Mm-hmm. Although saying that, the rhubarb that we moved
is doing really well.
The mint is doing really well. Mint, you can't kill mint even if you wanted. But yeah.
If your plums got long thorns, some of them do. I'll have to go and see. I'll have to take a look at that video and see. Because most of the domestic ones don't, but I want to say it's Canada plum that actually will sometimes get
spikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's one. I can't remember if American plum does as well, but
yeah. We have not had rat snakes here. We've not seen them on the property yet.
We know they're close. Like we're right in the heart of the Frontenac access, but we like them. We had, where we used to live, we did have one get into our duck coop and decide that it wanted to eat all the eggs that the
used to prove just the show. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
And ate a bunch of eggs that the duck was sitting on or incubating on, so that kind of was what it was. But yes, they definitely eat a lot of rodents. And the eastern milk snakes that we have too are, I would almost say they're, just from my own experience, they're probably the actual better of the two species from a rodent perspective, because they tend to seek the rodents out where they live on the ground, whereas the rat snakes, they still eat them, no question, but they tend to go arboreal pretty quick in a lot of places. So I think they eat a lot more birds.
Yeah.
Which, at certain times of the year, at least.
We would love to have mulberry trees.
We have one, but it's a male.
Yeah, so it doesn't
it's-
produce any fruit. My friend Ange, she has an amazing mulberry tree that we harvested quite a few off of this year. But it's like a big tree, not a nice little bush type
But we
thing.
might be able to
But
clone it.
we're hoping to maybe make some clones from it and get some going here, because that was the first time I'd ever eaten mulberries was this year, and they were tasty. So Chris
I
has
like
always
them.
wanted to have them, and I've always kind of poo-pooed it because I'm like, oh, we don't need more trees, we don't need more fruit, we don't need.
And now we do.
And now I'm like, okay, maybe we can get those. So
That's where I think, because we were talking about keeping things simple, and I think we were talking about this last week with cliffside permaculture. But when it comes to those kind of perennial woody plants that you can kind of plant, and I'm not going to say forget about them, but you don't need to do regular daily or weekly maintenance on, that's where you really can beef up your diversity, because you can have a lot of different fruit trees and berry trees and nut trees and all the wonderful things, and you're not doing a lot more often than just harvesting.
So the only thing I would say for Red in the Valley, because what zone are you again? Because you're cooler than us. But I don't think it would make a difference for mulberry tree, would it?
I was going to say good night, Blans. Thank you very much
Yes.
for coming in, and we'll catch you next week. We'll see you in some videos throughout the week.
Yeah, but have a great night. Thanks so much for coming in.
White mulberry should survive that far north, because white mulberry is fairly adaptable.
Yeah.
I
was just thinking because she'd be a little bit cooler than us.
I don't know what the sort of
Zoning
limit
is.
threshold would be for it, but I know it's more adaptable than you think. That's why it's spread like everywhere in North America.
Yeah, yeah. Looking out for your stickers. Oh, hang on. Let me write that down.
Add it to the book.
Add it to the book, yes. I will send you an email, and we will figure out getting stickers. We actually did look into it, so I think we should just, we should get it.
We'll just do it.
Yeah.
Get it sorted.
We'll just do it, exactly. So she's 5B or 4B. We're 5B. So you'd be a little bit cooler than us, but I can't see that that's...
I'm trying to think. I forget. I think it'll survive. I'm pretty sure it would survive, to be honest with you, but I don't have that. I can't remember exactly how hardy it actually is, but I'm sure it's a lot of, like, white mulberries from China, and I think in the steppes are probably pretty widespread, but a lot of those plants are very adaptable to our environment. So I think it would do fine.
Yeah.
The harder part is getting them, because I find they're
not
an
easy
easy
to
thing to find. Especially the good cultivars of them and stuff. But
well, hopefully we can get some off of.
we're gonna give it a shot. But, the milk snakes, unfortunately, they get that sort of negative. What do you call that? People look at them kind of negatively because they're defensive. I wouldn't say aggressive, but they tend to go defensive more, and then that usually historically doesn't end well for the snake. But it's funny because they do way more good than bad. I don't think they really do any bad unless you try to pick them up.
Wow.
But where I grew up, we had them, and they used to go up into the attic and eat squirrels and baby squirrels that were up there, and other things. So they definitely seek out where the rodents are.
We have so many cats, that's why they're not here.
Well, I'm sure if we go to the back of the property, I'm guaranteed we've got the rat snakes. Just the topography and everything is perfect. I just don't think they're up by the house.
No.
In any great numbers.
Right around 5B. Yeah. But.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, kind of Renfrew. I think they'd be fine.
I can't see why not. But if we can manage to get some started,
put
then
them somewhere semi-protected, at least to get them established.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, because I've seen quite a few of them in my travels around the province. I'm trying to think of the most northerly ones I've seen. And my brain, I want to say there's some in like the Barrie area, which is relatively cool too, but I think there is.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I have no idea, but
Yep.
I've come across it in some weird places. I mean, when you go to southwestern Ontario, it's super abundant, but it is around.
Yeah. The ducks like rodents. I don't know if our ducks ever went for anything.
The cayugas didn't. The one that tended to eat the most was the turkeys.
Yeah.
The turkeys were when I had the Narragansett turkeys, they were. Let's just put it this way: if you were even a rat, they're scary.
Yeah.
Because they all ganged up on them. I have actually heard that about Muscovies, though, that they eat a lot of things you wouldn't necessarily think a duck would eat. But that being said, ducks and chickens and turkeys, they're all omnivores.
Yeah.
Sometimes doesn't really matter. They just...
they go for it.
Yeah. I think that's another thing people forget when they're feeding them, too, right? It's like they have no problem eating animal protein.
No. They get some of it. Not all the time, but every now and then a little bit.
Yeah, the turkeys, I saw it a few times. They would like work together and gang up on it. And even if it was something that was far too big for them to handle themselves, they just, put it kind of graphically, they just pecked it to death. But you times that by, 10 or 15 or 20 turkeys, and it didn't take them very long.
No.
And chickens will do it too, depending on the breed of chicken. Like ours, I've never caught anything big, but
I'm just trying to think, like, they may have had a mouse at some point, maybe.
If they can find young mice,
Yeah.
they definitely eat them.
Tried growing roots from a branch. It's been cut off a plum tree, just curious.
I know you can graft them, and I think...
Or maybe if you had some rooting hormone.
They might work. What I don't know is the time of year that's best for it. But I know it can be done. I just don't know how hard it is. I think because like apple trees, you can do it too. The success rate I think is a little bit like grafting. The success rate is much higher than getting them to root, but it can be done.
Yeah, you just have to start a lot of them to get a couple.
Potentially,
Yeah.
or experiment with it for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would like to experiment with that a little bit with some of the. We saw people do it with the raspberries, right?
I was gonna say raspberries you can do it, elderberries you can do it. I think you can do it with mulberries, but I think mulberries are the success rate's lower. But I'm pretty sure you can do it with apples and pears and plums and all of those things too. I just don't know how well. You might be able to try, I've not looked into this, but that potato method where they you put it into the potato so that it basically gives it some energy and it roots in the potato. Totally just, I've seen that before, I've never tried it, so I have no idea.
Experiment time.
Experiment.
We could try an experiment.
Well, they do it with roses a lot.
Yeah.
That's how they clone a lot of roses too, right? So,
yeah.
The ornamental ones.
Well, maybe we should try. So he's got, I have wild plum trees and I may try to do that. That'd be kind of good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, the wild plum trees are quite good. That's what my mom tried to bring me some seeds from their wild plum tree.
I don't know what kind of plum they were exactly though.
They're like the little.
Well, you say wild.
They're like the little red plums, right?
Yeah.
They're not very big. They're like.
Well, Canada plum and American
maybe
plum
loony
are smaller.
size.
Yeah. I don't think.
Yeah, the raspberries we definitely, definitely can want to try and do some of that rooting them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that raspberries are nice too because you can cut the runners off. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of raspberries, we've had an amazing year for the Killarney raspberries already, and it's only year one. So.
Mm-hmm. They've produced. I don't even know. We'll have to see. You'll have to do a total at the end of the raspberry season because The raspberries that we bought, they weren't supposed to produce any fruit this year. Sorry. They weren't supposed to produce any fruit this year, and they've just been going. I mean, we've gotten to the point that I'm just putting them in applesauce and stuff. So,
which is good.
Yeah, I know. I said I could have made raspberry pie. That's something I've never made before because I've always had to buy the raspberries, and it's so expensive for fresh raspberries. And so this year I'm like, I could have made raspberry pie. We actually have tons of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, quite a big seed. That might be the Canada plum. I know Canada plum because I'm pretty sure Canada plum's in Manitoba too.
Yeah.
I should know that, but they're quite hardy compared to the American plum, which is the other species. Plums are funny because there's actually there's a bunch of European and Asian and North American species, and a lot of the cultivars are various mixes of those. Plums are quite complicated compared to apples, which are basically either one or two species for the most part. But,
yeah.
But I think on that note, we're both. It's been another great
chit
chat, but I think we're going to potentially call it a night.
Yes, we
as
got
always
work to do in the morning. As much as we don't want to think about it, but I definitely think we're going to get going on some great videos to come here with some more discussion on what we're doing around the homestead. And I definitely want to share a jungle tour because we haven't done a garden tour in probably 3 weeks now, at least.
It's been a while.
The last one we did was the good, bad, the ugly in the garden, and it wasn't really a tour. It was just a few things. So yes, have a good night, Cassie. We are heading out here as well. Sorry, I just want to say that. I think so we'll get some good content out for you guys, and we do appreciate you all, and thank you so much for watching and coming into our lives and
putting up with our black and white.
Our black and white. Hopefully we'll have that. I kind of like it. I like it. I don't know. I always like photos in black and white, so I kind of like the video in black and white. But hopefully by next time we'll have it figured out so that show and tell can be a little more interesting. But
yes, and our stuff just won't look like gray blobs.
Yeah, gray blobs. There's no definition or anything. So, but anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic night. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week. And for those that create content, we will try and catch a few videos. Now that the nights are pulling in, we actually feel like there's that hour and a bit in the evenings that we have extra now. I know it's sad to say that the nights are pulling in, but it is kind of nice because then it has to be, relax time comes a little sooner.
Winter's coming.
Yeah, I know. Don't want to think about it. There's lots to get done before then. But anyways, yes, we're trying to be done before 11 tonight. That was the goal, Bettina.
But of course, it always depends.
Yeah, but it's been great chit chat, and yes, we will see everybody next week. Have a good one. Bye.